Hi everyone. I'm just checking that I'm on here properly too, and I am. So incredible to see all of you here today. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Ilima and I talk about wellness and positivity, right? And all of the possible challenges we also face in life. And I give you some really real, practical, simple strategies to use to overcome the stress. I'm live here Tuesdays and Thursdays about 6:30 p.m. Eastern, and I always go over one sort of pain point that we're all sort of dealing with, one challenge, and I definitely cover you with a quick tip, right? A quick wellness tip. Go ahead and check in my live here. Um, in the comments, and go ahead and give me a hashtag live or a hashtag replay if you're going to catch this later. Make sure you see in the comments that I'm going to include my free wellness checklist that you can grab there. And you can also have access to my Facebook group that I'll put in the comments as well. Again, if you don't follow me, please go ahead and share. Follow me here, share my live. You never know who could be using this information and find it helpful. All right, I'm Ilima Hong. I'm 52 years old. I have two children in college. They're not children, they're adults, young adults. I'm happily married for 23 years to my husband. And that's sort of me in a nutshell, right? That's how I identify. I also have 25 plus years of experience in business and more recently in education. And so I've come and put together these sort of strategies to reduce stress in your life so that you can improve your health and wellness, right? That's been my goal. But many of you don't know even why and how I came to this point, right? To even be here on social media and to want to speak to our busy women out there, okay? So I'm going along in my life, right? I've like many of you, in your 50s, you might be a little more mature in your career, and which is what I was. Um, and I got the certifications, and I got myself qualified, and I got myself ready and primed to contribute to my profession. And I was just going along there, and I thought that was the track to be on, right? Until life gives you major challenges, and I was faced with a decision in my employment that I had actually absolutely no say in. Okay, it was abrupt and hasty, and it created a very emotionally stressful time for me. It changed things around my profession and my professional identity, and I had to deal with it. Okay. Um, and so when I had to go through that, I had to regroup. I certainly could have just laid down and cried and been a victim and been angry and fearful and crying. And actually, I did all of that stuff. But I didn't have to continue to do that, right? So I had a response and then I had to regroup. And if you're like me, if you do have children or a family or people who are counting on you, you realize that yeah, things can knock you down, but if you stay down there, there's people counting on you, and you are a role model. You are modeling um, how to deal with life in my hope and aspirations, was to deal with life with poise and grace, right? And I wanted to show my children and my husband that that was the life that I wanted, even though I was not on that path, right? People kicked me off a path and I had to go down another path. So I did. And so I provided that reassurance to them, but I worked on myself. I found very reasonably easy, simple um, methods to reduce my stress, okay, and to build my emotional strength, and to build my self confidence again. And when I was going through these methods of my own that I had sort of researched, I picked them up. They're not fancy, okay? They're not. It's not rocket science. But what I found that I had to do was I picked several of these um, wellness strategies and practices, and I had to be consistent, right? And I had to create a deeper awareness and learning around these practices. And when I was consistent with it, I found renewed energy and renewed commitment to life. Okay. And so I went through that last year. And then towards the end of last year, I still was feeling phenomenal, trying to build my self-esteem back up. And then I lost my most beloved loved one. Okay. At the end of the year, it was sudden. And I almost lost it again. Okay. So grief just hit me like a lightning bolt, and I crumbled. And so I'm also speaking from the point of relying on those stress reducing methods, which I'll share with you here, um, because they were lifesavers, okay? They didn't just sort of dig me out of a black hole when I was sort of, depressed, stressed out. They saved my life because I was also hit with grief. And it was like a 1-2 punch, okay? So I'm sharing this because through those experiences, I'm also realizing that there's many of you out here that could benefit from hearing that story, and realizing that if you're in it right now, or you're feeling that sort of pressure of life, it's real, okay? And I'm here to assure you it happens. But you can learn with some very simple, practical, consistent steps yourself to regain the confidence and to feel the excitement and passion and enthusiasm for life again. Okay? And so my message here is for our busy, sometimes we're career driven women, or if you're stay at home, or if you have your own business, or if you're facing a change in life, like empty nesters, a change in your employment, your change in your marriage. Like, there's significant things that could shift in your life, and you could rely back onto these strategies and these exercises that I talk about, and they will save you. Okay, so again, go into the comments. If you're watching, type in a #live or a #replay. I'm going to include in the comments, I don't know why Facebook gave me the stars link that I put in there. So I put it in there for you. I also put in a link in my comments, to my Facebook group, where I dive deeper into these stress reducing strategies. And I definitely want you to have access to my wellness checklist. Okay. And I'll put that in here too. So, excuse me, I'll put that in right now. Okay, so we're all set. It's in the comments. Go ahead and check that out. So the one thing I wanted to talk about today was the one thing that I employed in the beginning of the year to overcome, right, these stressful, it's called the critical inner voice. It's about people who experience self-sabotage, negative self-talk, and I call it the critical inner voice. Okay, it's evident. It lives in us. You can coexist with it, because that voice that you hear in your head and your heart oftentimes could be critical, but it exists there because you learned some of those stories and some of those narratives through your life, right, from childhood to today. And some of them can be very effective and can be very motivating for you, and can give you the inspiration you need to just keep going, right? You want to get that master's degree, you want to run that marathon, you want to swim, in that race, okay? Or you want to have children, or you want to have a divorce, or something that really tests your courage. So that voice is also there to help you, but it can be very critical too. And that's where I come in to sort of give you some strategies to help with that, to soften that critical voice. Okay. My overarching message is about wellness and positivity. I have many strategies around creating that for you in your life, but I cover this one thing today. So how did I soften my own critical inner voice? Okay. I shared with you what I went through in 2022. I had to rebuild my self-confidence, rebuild my self-esteem, identify better with myself, regroup, re-energize, reinvent. You can go on and on and on, okay? But the one thing that I did do was I stopped all the toxic news in my life. Okay? You're saying, what does that mean? I became more aware and more protective of information that I consumed. Okay? So it was everything from television to movies to social media to posts to even conversations that I'm not a part of, but I am hearing, I'm earshot of it. I remove myself. Okay? That was the one thing I did, guys. When I did that, I had this renewed sense of control. Okay? And that's one thing you can do. You can take that away right now. You can do it right now. You can sort of, as you go through emails, you can unsubscribe. You can, I'm sorry, you could block some negative information coming your way. So there's a number of things you can do. The main thing I want you to know is that you are aware of it. Okay? That is a strategy that you can use to help your critical inner voice, okay? Because access and exposure to those negative, toxic pieces of news, conversations, scenarios, posts, social media, they feed that critical inner voice, okay? Even if you have positive affirmations and you have a practice that can combat and soften your critical inner voice, it can be revved back up. It can gain life and add fuel because you're surrounded by other toxic examples. Yeah, examples of other toxic critical scenarios. Okay? So I'm hoping that that was helpful to you. I'm so thrilled that you're here. Go ahead and share my live with a friend or someone, on your own feed and see if that could help a friend of yours. If they are experiencing and starting to, start to become aware that you're really stressed about certain things, um, that awareness is really all I'm here to sort of start to help you with. That's why my content, my messages just kind of revolve around that, around knowing that you have a critical inner voice. And if it starts to take over, yeah, we need to just sort of get together and I can help you with some real strategies. So I hope you enjoyed my live. Go ahead and look in the comments for my wellness checklist. Go ahead and jump into my Facebook group. Share this live with friends on your feed, and I'll see you Thursday. I'm here Tuesdays and Thursdays at about 6:30 p.m. Eastern, and I'm excited to see what the rest of my week's going to be like. And I hope you have a phenomenal week also. Take care.